Hello and welcome to the Comic Book Communicast, the official podcast of the Google Plus comic book community. This is issue number 35 for the week of May 14th, 2014. I'm Justin Beeson and I'm joined by co-hosts Paul Christopher,
Good evening, everybody.
Sarah Evans,
Hey.
and Aaron Travis is missing tonight. He's packing for his space journey to go join the Guardians of the Galaxy with everybody else that's on the team now.
Yes.
Every episode, each of us talks about a comic that was at the top of our read pile for the week, and later we'll go over some of this week's news. So let's get right into it. Paul, what was your comic for this week?
My comic this week was Batgirl number 31. I have a very light week this week. So it was Batgirl 31, written by Gail Simone, our team favorite here. And the pencils were by Fernando Pasarin. Forgive me if I'm mispronouncing your name. And the inks were by Jonathan Glapian. And the colors was blonde. Okay. I really like the art on this one. Especially the inks, the colors in the inks were really good and set the tone very kind of creepy. Because a lot of it opens up in this building at night and people are creeping around. But that's one of the things is like, so at the beginning is the people, they're in the dark and they're creeping around in this building where they don't belong, and they're talking about like that thing took so and so, and it's like we got to get out of here before it gets us. And I'm like, if they're talking about Batgirl, that is awesome because Batman, that's his whole part of his whole thing is like just being terrifying. And, like, nobody's afraid of Batgirl. And I really wish somebody would kind of steer her into that direction, because she's not scary at all. As a matter of fact, most of the time, for us readers who get to see her outside the cape, she's very kind of, I don't know, like, whiny and sad all the time, I mean, Bruce is sad too, but Bruce is sad for different reasons. He's like a scary kind of sad, where she's just very much like, I don't know, I don't know what it is, but Batgirl should be scarier, more formidable than she is. But anyway, so this story introduces me to the character of Ragdoll, somebody I've not encountered before, and it's actually a very cool, very kind of freaky character. I liked Ragdoll. I would like to see more of Ragdoll. Hopefully, maybe this is the start of an arc. I'm not sure, but the Ragdoll character I thought was very cool. Like I said, I like the art. And this issue is continuing this trend of social commentary within the Batgirl book that I don't know how much more of it I can stand. I mean, I understand that authors and whatnot, they've got their feelings on things, and I'm totally okay with that. I mean, like other books, like X-Men, the whole point of the X-Men books is social commentary. But there's the way it's been in the last few issues of Batgirl has been way too obvious and way too heavy-handed. Whereas like the X-Men books, there's a lot of allegory and commentary that way without it being just like hitting you over the head over and over again. This is being more like the Green Arrow titles from the 70s and early 80s kind of a thing. But overall, I enjoyed the book. But yeah, Batgirl's way too milquetoast. I'd like to see them bring her up a notch.
Yeah, the art in that book, the inks and the colors are great. The pencils, not a fan of it all. Everybody was kind of amorphous. There were some anatomy issues, like where there'd be inconsistent, like just humans not bending the right way, which is fine for Ragdoll because that's part of the character. That part of the book was great, but it kind of bled over to the other people, and it just really bugged me. And then anytime he would do a close-up of their face, everybody's eyes were way too close to their nose. It made them look kind of funny. I mean, I'm not familiar with the artist, and I haven't been following the book at all. But yeah, just it kind of falls victim to the DC lower tier books, kind of get the shaft on art all around.
Yeah.
they're switched out and they're just not great.
What they need is to where is it? The Alex Garner is the cover artist, and
Oh God, the
his
covers are so
covers
I know
have
you've been
good.
been
saying this for a
yeah. That guy needs to do the interiors for the love of God. Somebody give him a check, let him do the interiors.
Well, the
Yep.
problem with DC is that maybe he doesn't, maybe he's an artist that can't quite do a monthly book, and DC is so rigid about their shipping schedule unless you're Jeff Johns or Jim Lee that if you can't get a book out on a monthly schedule, they'll fill in pages for you and just not
Well
good.
then,
Or
at
maybe
least
he's an artist who's still willing to work with them.
yeah. Maybe what they need to do then is at least let him do like the annuals or something,
Yeah.
so we know that he'll get Batgirl will get one really awesomely drawn book a year.
Right. Yeah, I definitely want to see more of that guy's stuff because that cover is awesome.
Yeah.
And I have my issues with
Sorry,
Gail
one more time I
Simone,
didn't
but
catch
the way
it.
she writes Ragdoll is amazing.
Yep. What did you say, Sarah? What's going on?
Sorry, a bit of a lag. Never mind, go on.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, Ragdoll is awesome. And she kind of keeps in, or Gail Simone keeps in with Ragdoll, still has a code. At the end, she goes for a little bit of redemption for something that she thought, or he thought was wrong.
As I say, I wasn't quite sure if Ragdoll was supposed to be a he or she at first, and then like when Batgirl smashed his face against the bar and the mask came off, then I was like, okay.
Well, that was a problem that I had with the art because, I mean, I know it's supposed to be a mess and he's not exactly the best looking person on the planet. He's had a lot of surgeries to become the way he is and everything. But the art on his face with the mask all cracked, I mean, it was really bad. It was kind of like what y'all were saying. It was amorphous. It was like, okay, there's just a lot of sketchy pencil lines for his face being contorted or whatever, and then there's blood hiding everything, and it's like, you guys just really didn't want to draw that face, did you? But, yeah.
And see that whole scene right there actually kind of goes back to what I've been saying about Barbara not being formidable. Is like she's like this guy is like attacking these people. For all she knows at this point, he's like maybe killed somebody, maybe killed two people, and she like smashes his face, and then she like wants to apologize, like, oh, I've gone too far, I've smashed his face. Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
Are you
I
kidding
think
me?
that's more of Gail Simone kind of leaking in there and wanting to have her characters interact, but when you have a hero and a villain interacting, you can't really, as much as she's tried over the years, because her old Birds of Prey team, whenever they'd cross over with Secret Six, that was great, because they were more kind of like on the fringe of heroes, and then you had like a supervillain / anti-hero team, so they were able to meet and go their separate ways. But Ragdoll is pretty much on a death mission here, so it doesn't work out as well when you have like someone who's so, Golden Girl, mainstream, pantheon as Batgirl, and someone who's trying to kill people. I mean, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to let them walk as much as she would like to just write them interacting.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing. Yes, exactly. If you're gonna wear the bat, if you're gonna call yourself Bat anything, okay. If the villain can still walk on their own power, then you have not gone too far, and perhaps not gone far enough. I'm just saying.
Which is funny because Nightwing doesn't call himself Bat anything anymore, and he let the Secret Six walk once. But that was great because he did it with his back turned to them, and it led to the most glorious illustration of an ass in the history of comics. It's true. That's what they were aiming for. Simone and Nicola Scott, who was on the art right then, collaborated, and they were like, "Okay, we need to make the most amazing ass in the history of comics," and they did, and it was Nightwing.
My Nightwing is quite the ass, I have to say. But yeah, so like if you're gonna be Bat anything, you should not be apologizing to the villains after you hit them. And then, as you saw, then it backfired on her because then he got the upper hand and all this. It's like, come on, guys, come on, Batgirl deserves better.
Did anyone catch the Scandal cameo?
Did they what?
Did anyone catch the Scandal Savage cameo? because that just
No.
made.
No, I did not catch that.
Okay, so when he's on the phone to someone, when he's still pursuing Alicia and her friend, and he's saying, "All right, talk soon. Give my love to your wives."
Yeah.
There was only one person that Ragdoll would have been on the phone with while he was on a mission like this, who has multiple wives, and that is Scandal. Because when Secret Six was ending, there had been a love triangle because she'd been in a very passionate relationship with Knockout for a long time, but then Knockout had died, and she'd started seeing a stripper named Liana. And at the end of the book, Knockout came back from the dead, and everyone was like, "Oh, what's going to happen?" They were like, "Obviously, Liana's going to be told to hit the road because she's not a supervillain, and she's not really cut out for this lifestyle, and Scandal likes to protect the people she cares about." In the end, she asked them both to marry her.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Gail
Wow.
Simone snuck in one of DC's first confirmed marriages off screen, and it was the three ladies who absolutely deserve it.
So not only was it a marriage, it was a polygamous marriage, no less.
Yes.
Oh,
So there you have
I guess
it.
when you're
DC
Vandal Savage's kid, you can, or I guess when you're Vandal Savage's kid, you can do whatever you want.
Well, see, and that's the thing too. So apparently, it's like the villains can go ahead and get married. It's the heroes that can't be married.
Basically, because it's assumed that the villains are miserable, but really that's the best racket going on in DC right now because the villains are living it up.
Yeah.
Seriously. Well, yeah, the villains are really getting spot. I mean, Lex Luthor's about to take over the Justice League, so it's a good time to be a villain in the DC universe.
You just had to bring that up, didn't you? You had to
Deep
bring up the
breath.
Justice League thing. Wow.
Serenity now, insanity later.
Hey, all I'm saying is DC saving me $5 a month. So.
Yeah, really. But no, that just as an old Secret Six fan, that just tickled me pink, and it just made my day because Batwoman may not be allowed to get married, but you know what? You know it's going to get in somewhere, and this was a great place for it.
Scandal married an extra one just to cover Batwoman. It's like, look, you can't get married to your girl. I'm going to get married twice.
And she married
I'm gonna balance
two
the scales.
redheads.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. So that's Batgirl number 31. On to the next book. Sarah, what did you pick this week?
My pick this week was Lumberjanes number 2. I read number 1 a few weeks ago when it came out, and man, it was hard to get a hold of. I had to wait a few days to find a shop because it was just flying off the shelves. I know that, let me read the creative team real quick because it's not on the front cover of the book that I have right here. It's written by Noelle Stevenson and Grace Ellis and illustrated by Brooke Allen with colors by Marta Liho. And so that's an all-female team. The letters is a female, Aubrey I.S. as well. And it's one of the coolest books, I think, that is out there right now. Like, I feel like it's going to be up there with Rat Queens because I kind of agreed with Justin's assessment of the first book because it was more of an introductory issue, and, you know, it just kind of tried to establish that there's a lot of characters here, and it's all girls at a summer camp, and there's some weirdness going on. And basically it's going to be like a summer camp supernatural girl detectives kind of book. And it's great and it's quirky, but the first issue didn't really sell it as much as this issue did for me because it was absolutely hilarious. We had the main characters trying to earn a canoeing badge, evidently, or what they call it, oh geez, I don't know, it's some kind of derivative river canoeing badge, but of course they run into a river monster, and things get redonkulous, and they have to survive the river monster, make their way back to camp, and end up stumbling onto an even bigger mystery, which possibly leads into the whole holy kitten query that the book started off with in issue 1. So it was really great. Someone makes a pun and wins their Punjin Master merit badge, which I am all about. And there's just a lot of other really cute, you know, moments in there. It's a lot like Rat Queens. It's like the writing is so great, and there's so many just awesome moments of comedy that you really have to read it. The creators came through with their promise, and it was very, very gay. And so if anyone was thinking, oh, it's just going to be just like Adventure Time, it's going to be a kid's book, I'd be fine with letting kids read this because obviously things are not getting mature, but two of the girls definitely look like they're crushing on each other, and it's incredibly cute. So, yeah, Lumberjanes #2.
So you're saying I should give this issue another try?
Yeah, I think you should get issue 2 because it was really, really funny.
And also the promise of hot
Like this,
girl
I mean, a
action.
lot of it came from the characterization, which is. Oh, sorry, there was a. I didn't realize I was talking over you guys. Sorry.
It's okay.
Paul's just making a lame joke.
But I mean, but no, a lot of the comedy comes from just this group, and it's weird because we're not to a point in the series yet where I remember everyone's name because it's a group of about 5 campers, and they all have very different body types and personalities, and it's great. They're awesome characters, but it's just their personalities are what are really shining through right now. So I assume I'm going to learn everyone's names down the road as the series continues.
Cool. Well, I guess I'll give this one another try and pick up this issue #2.
It's definitely worth it.
All right. So my comic was your cat's going around.
Sorry, I think she knows that the camera's on
cracking
or
up over here.
something. I'm really sorry. She wants to be an internet sensation. I apologize for this cat.
It's funny. So my issue was the United States of Murder Inc. #1, which is a new creator-owned comic from the Powers team of Brian Michael Bendis and Michael Omen. This like crime mob comic, and basically, it starts out and it seems like a standard just mob comic, kind of like Goodfellas-ish, but the more you go through it, you're like, oh, okay, this is quite a bit different. Basically, the premise is this world is a world where the mob never kind of got squashed. They got bigger and bigger, so they basically own the whole East Coast, and the rest of the United States they call the territories, or yeah, I think that's what they call it. And so you have this kid who comes from a crime family, a legacy family, and it starts with his story as he becomes a made man and goes on his first, not mission, but job. And it's just really good. Like, I don't want to talk too much about it because there's a couple good little twists in there that really basically set up the book dynamic and the book world, and it's just like, okay, I'm hooked. I'm ready. This is great. The art, really good. It's Michael Omen, which, if you've read any of his stuff, Powers, he does Victories. He has a very distinctive style. This is, right in line with the rest of his stuff. It kind of reminds me of Bruce Timm, to where it's good, but he definitely has a style and the way he draws characters. And for this book, he's using a lot of negative space, so there's shadows, a lot of black, and since he's doing all the art himself, it really shows, and you can tell there's a synergy there with everything together when you have one guy doing it all. Yeah, and it's this first issue. It's, I think, the issue part of its normal size, and then they include the whole script, which is pretty cool. I always like looking at the script and see how it translates to the page, and then they include a bunch of character sketches and stuff. So basically, I mean, if you're a fan of Bendis or Omi, it's par for the course for them. You got the Bendis banter, you have the 2-page spreads with a bunch of panels, and yeah, but it's really good. The story is familiar enough for people who like that genre, the crime genre, mob stories, but they throw a bunch of there's enough differentiation in there to make it pretty interesting.
Sounds kind of like Wanted. You know, with Mark Miller's Wanted, because like all the super villains in one, basically.
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's not that. Yeah, I see where you're hearing about similar. Yeah, it's kind of like that,
Mm,
but they're not. It's not like they like rule the world. They're still
right.
very much just like trying to do the same stuff as you would expect a crime family to do. There's just a different dynamic because they have a little bit more power.
Okay.
But no, they're definitely not in complete control, as becomes evident throughout the book.
Okay.
And it's kind of cool how they're revealed because it's, okay, it starts off as a normal mob star, like okay, it's another Goodfellas, and then you like, and they're kind of sneaky about it. He's in front of a newsstand. You see on one of the newspapers something about the mob controlling the East Coast. You're like, oh, okay, and then you send him to go. He goes and talks to a senator to deliver a package, and then you see the dynamic in between there, and he has like a special pin that denotes his family, and depending on where it is, it either gets him everywhere in the door or it could get him killed.
Okay. Cool.
And then yeah, like I said, there's a big twist at the end that kind of sets the stage for the story, and it's a good one. So yeah, that was United States of Murder Inc. Obviously, if you're a Bendis fan or a Powers fan, definitely pick this up. But I mean, I think it's worth a look for anybody. So Paul, what? So you said you had a light week. What else did you pull?
All right. So yeah, this week was really light. I besides Batgirl at 31, I got Batman Eternal #6. Continues to be a good one. This one's like off on like a side mission though. This isn't really so much Batman. This is Batwing and Spectre.
No Steph?
So what?
No Steph?
Nope, no Steph. No
Yeah.
Steph. Barely any Bruce. It's Batwing and Spectre, and they're going to investigate some goings on. There's a conjuring going on at Arkham Asylum, so it looks like it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, I enjoyed the issue and all. Not a big fan of Batwing, as everybody knows. I didn't like the entire Batman Incorporated idea. I thought that was a terrible idea. I think it was basically they they had some really awesome Batsuit sketches. And they're like, well, we don't want to just throw away the sketches, so why don't we just create new characters for each of these Batsuits? And like, Batwing's outfit looks pretty awesome. His armor is pretty badass, but it's basically it's Batman / Iron Man going on there. That's what that is. It's Bat Iron Man.
Which is
But
funny because
anyway,
they're almost
like
the
Night
same
Squire.
dude.
yeah. So what?
I like Knight and Squire, but the rest of Batman Inc. not really.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you know how I feel about the extended Batman family anyway, so we just won't go there. I got the returning issue #3. Haven't had a chance to read it yet. Realize I haven't even got #2 yet, so I'll go back and grab that. I got the Woods issue #1 based on you guys' recommendation. When is Trees coming out? Because I keep getting those two confused anyway.
I
Like
don't know what that is.
that's like it's coming from Image. It's like a horror comic. I've seen it like at the back of a couple of my Image books. But anyway, so that's another day. But yeah, that was it. That was it for my entire poll this week. I think a lot of my Image titles are like on hiatus or something right now.
Yeah.
Like Saga's not back yet. Lazarus, I don't think is back.
I don't know if I picked up any Image books this week.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey.
Trees. Warren Ellis is coming. It's supposed to be out this month. Warren
If
Ellis.
it's by Warren Ellis, I might read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get to it in a sec. Sarah, what else did you pull? Anything else this week?
Yeah, actually, it was a decent
As she's
week for
drinking
me.
water. Sorry.
No, you're good. Besides Lumberjanes #2, I got Nightcrawler #2, which is continuing to be adorable and awesome. And I love Kurt. I love him. I'm sorry. I had a good feeling about him when I was reading his old stuff before he died, and then there was nothing of him for so long. I was like, well, I guess this character's cool, but the way that they're writing him now, and we actually got to meet the writer on this, someone Claremont. Chris Claremont at Free Comic Book Day.
Wait,
and,
what?
Yeah, wait a minute. Chris Claremont was at Free Comic Book Day?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Oh no! He was doing the Nightcrawler stuff from the X-Men books when he was actually being brought back. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Because you know who Chris Claremont is, right?
I didn't mean to put up that information. Yeah, no, I know. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. It just occurred to me that there's no way that could have happened. Sorry.
It's all good.
But yeah, Nightcrawler number 2. I look like a total noob right now. Moving on. Batgirl number 31 as well. And Archie's pal, Kevin Keller, which I have started getting on the regular, which is great because even though I'm the only person in my shop who pulls it, they finally got with the program and have been ordering the book for me, and I get them on the day that it's supposed to come out, and I can read them, and it's great. And this one is just awesome. And I don't know. I know Archies are kind of frivolous as far as comic book readership goes these days, and the art is definitely not even up to the quality on this book as it is on other Archie's comics. And some people might consider it gimmicky, but I love Kevin Keller as a character. He's like a mini Captain America, just really boy next door, and he tries to do his best, and he just is class president, and he comes from a military family, and he wants to join the army, and he hangs out with his friends, and he's just a really great kid, and he's my little ray of sunshine that I need in my often dark and angsty comic book pull list. So this issue was really cute and kind of a, I don't know, it was kind of a kiddie theme, but it was all about how, I don't know, gossip, and even if you're hiding behind anonymity, it can hurt people, and social media and stuff like that. So it was cute. But yeah, that was nice. Kevin Keller, number 13.
So are you going to start pulling Batgirl again? You said you had dropped it, right?
I was never pulling it. My problem with it was something similar to what Paul was saying. I mean, Birds of Prey was the first comic that I seriously started reading. X Factor Investigations was the second. Gail Simone's writing was great, but I fell in love with Barbara Gordon as Oracle, and I feel like Simone has a much better grasp on her as Oracle, possibly because she wrote her that way for so long, than she does as Batgirl, and I feel like that might be part of this sad overall vibe that Paul was getting reading it, because I know that I read it and it doesn't seem like Batgirl should be to me, because whenever in Birds of Prey, Oracle would have a flashback to when she was Batgirl, it always seemed like so cheerful and so, you know, upbeat and a little bit wistful, and I feel like that's how it's being written now. And I feel like it's not the book that it could be on another writer, although I definitely feel like, I mean, I know why they made the decision they did in giving the book to Gail Simone, and I'm definitely glad that she's on a book. I just am not really interested in reading about Barbara Gordon as Batgirl, so.
I'd like to see more Batgirl, Batwoman crossover. I'd like to see them team up on a semi-regular basis.
That would be pretty cool. I don't know, I definitely want her Secret Six stuff brought back if they're going to expand on the Bat universe in any way. Although I feel like the Ragdoll thing was a one-shot cameo, because it definitely felt like, you know, he showed up at the end of the last issue, he concluded his business by quitting at the end of this issue, and the only other reference we got to the Secret Six was a little phone conversation that is probably not going to go anywhere in the grand scheme of, like, the major villain's overall plot. So it makes me really sad, because one of the main complaints I heard about Suicide Squad, which has failed to impress me personally in the New 52, one of the big complaints I've heard from other readers was, you know, why didn't they put Gail Simone on this? Because she was doing a lot of the same thing with Secret Six, like a team full of villains who were do hero work, and, you know, it was a lot of the same characters, and everybody loved that one, and the writing was great, and the characters were great. God forbid they do something at all similar to what they did for September 2011.
All right, so I actually had a pretty decent week. I pulled a bunch of books, but the standouts were one of my favorite digital titles, Motorcycle Samurai, came out with another issue. That's one of those ones where it just kind of, sometimes it appears on Wednesdays and then I buy it. post-apocalyptic guy on a motorcycle with a samurai sword and wreaks havoc. It's just kind of like a lot of fun action. It's a guided view comic, so it has the cool transitions and stuff. It's a lot of fun. Um, we're starting a new crossover with the Superman world. We got Superman Doomed, which is Doomsday is coming back in the New 52. So I'm curious about this. I mean, I'm really liking Action Comics, and so since that's tying in, I'm gonna pick it up. The only downside is that it's going to be, Greg Pak, Charles Soule, and Scott Lobdell.
Oh,
Oh, why would they
your
do that?
nemesis.
Yeah, so I'm hoping it's more Pak and Soule and less Lobdell. So they have like two bookend books. So they have Superman Doomed 1 and 2, I think. And then they have Superman, Wonder Woman, Action Comics, and Superman in the middle. And so, I'm hoping that Lobdell is just minimized. But it's kind of weird because they released all like three today. So you got Superman Doom #1, Superman Wonder Woman Action Comics, which is kind of weird. Like, it seems like they should, do it week by week so you have a little bit instead of all at once, because then you're gonna have a big break in between it. So I don't know. I won't say I'm looking forward to it, but I'm definitely curious. I'm giving this week's Future's End one more chance, and then if this doesn't get me, then I'm done with that book. And then also the free comic book day books are starting to hit Comixology, so I picked up a few of those. You have DC and I think IDW, and there's a couple other ones. Those are all on Comixology now, so we're going through those. And if you're in the Google Plus community, post what you picked up today. You can post your own. Just hashtag it CBC Pollbox. People talk about this week's comics. Join in. So, and the one last thing I wanted to bring up is, did either of you get a look at the? I assume it was in other books, but the preview for Superman #32 with John Romita Jr.
Is that the one where he's like beating up on that gorilla?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I've like flipped through it. I didn't actually stop and read it. But,
I was
yeah.
kind of wondering if the brain in Mansour Mala finally found a way to create a literal brainchild.
Yeah, like, this is supposed to be a big thing, and it doesn't look that great to me.
Yeah, no, it was,
I don't think Superman was the right book for him.
yeah.
Ragdoll would be so unhappy to know he hit a monkey.
Alright, so I guess that's it for this week's comics. We've got news this week. I think we'll go for the biggest one.
Big news.
We'll go for the biggest one first, is that we finally get our first look at Batfleck.
Yes, and the Batmobile.
And the Batmobile in all its monochrome glory.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm very excited. I'm really digging the bat suit, such that we saw it. The Batmobile I can give or take. It's like people have said it's like looks like a mashup between Tim Burton's and the Tumbler. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, the suit itself is cool.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of people complaining about the short ears, which I'm fine with.
Well, see, here's the thing. As a longtime Batman fan, and as any other time Batman fans will tell you, the whole ear controversy has been just has been this internal conflict within the Batman camp forever, for decades. And different artists will draw the ears different lengths depending on how they like it. And then you've got people who prefer the short ears, people who prefer the long ears, people who don't care. I think that these ears are just the right height. Like the ones in the TV show, those are a little too small. These are, you can barely see them, but like these ones, I think are good. I like this suit. I'm a fan of this suit, and I'm excited to see it in full color and in action.
I just hope I don't know if they'll do it, but I hope that the main body of it they do gray. So the cowl, gloves, boots black, body gray.
Yep.
Because we haven't seen that yet in a live action, and I think they can pull it off.
I want to see them show off the symbol on the bat on the chest more. Like in Nolan's book, in Nolan's movies, you couldn't tell unless you like freeze framed on like a daylight scene and like look really close. You could barely tell there was a bat there. Like I don't necessarily want them to do like the yellow background thing, but at least make it a little bit clearer and more prominent. I mean, this is Batman, for the love of God.
Right.
No, that's what Nolan seemed to want to forget more than anything else.
Yeah.
Sarah, did you get a good look at the new costume?
Yeah, I did. I'm kind of ambivalent. I mean, it looks like Batman to me. I don't really read the Bat books for Batman. I read them for the other members of the Bat family whenever they're written well, and not exactly completely doing backflip. So, sorry.
Well, that and Ben Affleck definitely has the chin for the suit.
Yep.
Although,
Affleck.
did you see? Have you seen the sad Batman memes?
Yes, I have. I saw the one where he's pushing the swing. It's hilarious.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think The Verge has they compiled a bunch of the good ones on whatever article they wrote about it.
Yeah.
So hopefully, the one funny thing about the whole thing that struck me, I mean, I don't know if anybody else was not annoyed, but kind of whatever about it, is that Zack Snyder tweeted the picture, but he made sure to say, "Oh, I took this picture with my whatever company."
Oh,
Whatever camera. It's like, are we really at the point of film advertising that people are sponsoring candid production
leaks,
shots?
Yeah, exactly. Leaks and tweets and stuff. I mean, I understand that because these movies are really, really expensive to make. So they, all the help that they can get, and they need it. So
It's just,
it's not too obvious.
That's fine, but it's just like don't talk like it's I just took this on my cell phone.
Yeah.
When it's a carefully planned and composed and sponsored photograph.
Well, technically, they may not be lying if they did just finally get around to taking the picture on their phone after staging it.
Yeah. But yeah, so looking forward to it. Who knows what the movie's going to be like, but Batman looks good.
Yeah.
So I mean, basically all the news this week is TV and film.
Yep.
The second pretty big bit of news is we're definitely getting the second season of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is great because it's finally good.
Yeah, it is really good. The season finale was awesome. This show has literally been taken off the leash since the Captain America movie. It was that's what they were waiting for, and now it's awesome. So totally looking forward to next season.
And then we found out that along with I think they did the same thing, but along with the season 2 of S.H.I.E.L.D., found out that Agent Carter is getting a series.
Yes. Excited about
I'm
that.
excited about.
I never
That's gonna be
actually
badass.
I never actually watched the short, or I have no clue about this.
Yeah, you should see the short. They did a really good job with it.
What was it on?
It was on, I think, the Thor
The
disc.
internet.
Yeah, you probably find it on YouTube. But yeah, I think it was on the Thor, the Dark World disc.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what,
or maybe it was Iron Man 3.
What is Agent Carter?
All right, so what it is so you know who Agent Carter is, though, right?
No, I have no idea.
All right, so
Are you kidding me?
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Did you watch the
Did you
first
not
Captain
see
America movie?
3? Did you not see? Oh my gosh! Have you seen either Captain America movies?
Yeah.
All right, so the first Captain America movie, right? His love interest, the British woman.
Okay.
That's
Agent
Carter.
Peggy Carter.
Ah.
Okay. So so what it is after Cap goes into the ice, and then she goes to work for the CIA or something. Right. This is the short now. The short is her. She's working in this. I think it's like the CIA, and they're like mistreating her because she's a woman, so they're having her like do all this really like paperwork and stuff like that. They won't let her go out in the field. They won't let her go out in the field. And what it is, they get their mission assignments by this phone call, and they do the Cinderella to her. Like, so the director of the office gets the phone call, then he assigns agents to go, and she never gets to go. She never gets to go to the ball, and then all the agents go out for dinner or to the bar or for drinks, and they leave her behind to do paperwork again. Cinderella. And the phone rings, and she's the only one there. So she picks up the phone, and it's really awesome because the person on the other end of the phone says, we've got intelligence that this bad guy is at this place. It's heavily fortified. Recommend 2 agents. And she goes by herself, and she whoops just an epic amount of ass. And then at the end, she's getting yelled at by her boss for having gone out and done this on her own and all this. And then the boss, that phone rings, and it's Howard Stark. And basically he tells the boss, I want you personally to go and tell her that she's coming here. She's going to help me create S.H.I.E.L.D. or whatever. She's going to be the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
It's really awesome. So basically the show is going to be set during that time period.
Oh, nice.
And it's going to be about her, basically help her and I guess Howard Stark, but creating S.H.I.E.L.D.
That'll be cool.
Yeah. It looks like if it stays up to the level of that short, it should be really awesome. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
Nice.
Extremely excited. We finally get one of the amazing female characters that they've had in all of these movies get some time in the spotlight, where it's Peggy Carter, the TV show, not Captain America the movie, side character Peggy Carter.
But we still can't get a Wonder Woman anything.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's where it's okay, Marvel's not doing an awesome job, but they're beating out certain other comic book companies right now as far as movies and representation go.
Yep. Yeah. Speaking of DC and Batman and television, we all finally got to see the Gotham trailer. Did everybody see that?
Did we talk about this last week?
Did we?
Yeah.
We did. No, we did.
Okay, all right. So we'll hush my mouth.
And we liked it.
We
Yes.
did.
We are
Well, there's
still
an
in
extended
favor
one.
of the Batman
Yes,
trailer. No
well, then the other one
change.
is what? The Constantine trailer.
Well,
Did
we
you see that one
got
last week.
basically they confirmed that we're gonna get series for iZombie, The Flash, Constantine. With that, we got a full Constantine trailer and then teasers for the other 2.
I didn't see I didn't see the teasers for the other 2. I'll have to look those up. But yeah. How do we feel about the Constantine trailer?
Tepid.
Yeah.
I like
special
basically
effects
I
like
like
that.
everything about it except for the guy playing Constantine.
You miss Keanu Reeves?
Doesn't seem like no, not definitely not that. He doesn't seem charismatic enough.
Yeah.
Well,
I
New
don't-
52 Constantine hasn't exactly been charismatic.
Right? No. Yeah. And they made a point by saying based off of Hellblazer, not based
Yeah.
off of Constantine.
Yep.
I feel like that was deliberate. But yeah, I feel like this guy is. I don't feel like he can convince people to go put their lives in danger just because he talked to him and convinced them to do it.
Well, we'll give it time for him to settle into the character, and we also have
Right.
to see which direction they're going. I enjoyed the trailer. I was, but I'm concerned that they're going to make this like a supernatural style Monster of the Week thing, rather than.
I was about to say, I marathoned 8 seasons of Supernatural back to back, so how bad could this be?
Yeah, well, because I want it to be like less Monster of the Week and more serialized. Which, going back to Gotham, we've already been confirmed that they are going to do like a serialized show rather than like, a case of the week kind of thing.
I think they've learned, and I mean, just like Arrow's a good mix of that too. I mean, obviously they're on different networks, but and I mean NBC. Look what NBC's doing with Hannibal.
Yeah.
If
No,
they can even get close to what they're doing with that show, then I think this will be very good.
Yeah, I mean the whole demon scene from the asylum was really dark, really nasty. I was digging that, and then the shot with like the grandmother standing behind the mother and all that. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, like I said, I liked everything about that trailer except for the main actor.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. Like, we'll give him a chance to let him settle into the role and kind of get it going. The other shows, though, I'm really excited for The Flash. Have you guys been watching Arrow?
I have not been watching Arrow, and part of that I need to go and catch up because I've been hearing so much good things about it. The part of it was because it's from the CW, and I had pretty much sworn off the CW, and I just figured it was going to be another freaking Smallville, and I just wasn't going to have that, you know. So, but it's not. It's very much proven that it's not Smallville. So I should go back and give it a chance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I saw like they had like a very brief kind of teaser for the Flash where we finally got to see him in motion. So we'll see how that goes. I would be interested, and I think it would be really cool if DC managed to keep all of its TV titles in the same universe.
Well, I mean, I think obviously Arrow and The Flash are, but
Yeah.
you know, all these other stuff are on different networks. I don't.
Well, but the what do you call it? The Marvel stuff on ABC and the Marvel stuff on Netflix are also in the same universe, including the movies.
Yeah, that's different because that's Netflix and ABC, and also Disney owns ABC, so you know.
Right, but there's still two different networks.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, if they wanted to, they can pull it off.
You're right. They can if they really want to, or they can leave it ambiguous enough
Yep.
to where they are. The last bit of news is we finally get confirmation that Channing Tatum is going to be Gambit.
Oh, yes.
We don't know if that's going to be a solo movie or if that's part of a team.
No, we do know.
Really?
Yeah, they've already said. All right, so he's going to appear in the next X-Men movie, Apocalypse. Right?
Oh, okay.
Apocalypse, yeah. And then after that, he's going to get his own solo movie.
I love Channing Tatum and I love Gambit, so I'm looking forward to that. I hope that they don't try and do the Cajun accent.
Yeah, see, what yeah. That's the thing.
I don't have faith that Channing Tatum can do a Cajun accent.
Me either. Like, I'd like to see them do somebody. I would like to see them cast somebody who could do the Cajun accent.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Channing Tatum pulling off the Cajun accent, but you know, you're right, Justin. Like, you know, we could be wrong. He could surprise us. You know, he could be out there working diligently with a voice coach right now to do the Cajun accent, but we'll see. We'll see.
I hope
well,
they.
Yeah, now it looks like I might actually have to watch these godforsaken X sequels. Or I don't know, they might be good. Who knows at this point? But I'm not excited about the Apocalypse one because mass character death has never really turned me on when it comes to comic books. And I don't know. I'll watch it for Channing Tatum. Yeah.
The current movie, Days of Future Past, has been getting pretty much universal acclaim so far from the preview screenings and whatnot.
Yeah, that's what I read too.
I'm so grossed out by that one moment in the trailer where he's like dragging Mystique towards him along the ground, and she just looks so terrified, and it freaks me out.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm watching the movie for Peter Dinklage mostly.
Yeah.
Another person for whom I would watch almost anything they're in.
Yeah.
They keep giving these good actors. They keep demanding my money. I guess I'll keep giving it to them.
All right. So I think that about does it. You got it. You guys have anything else?
Nothing from me.
There was one thing. No, I can't remember it. Sorry. I might bring it up at issues if I can, but if I don't, must not have been that important.
All right. Well, if you think of it while I'm chime in. Communicast home on the web is hashtag Communicast on Google+, youtube.com/comicbookcommunicast, and cbcpodcast.tumblr.com. Find all our episodes over there. We appreciate any shares, reblogs, retweets, whatever. Also, greatly send us comments, reply to our, participate in the Q&A that we get started on here. We'd love to hear from you. We always reply. So, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Hit the like button right over
That
here.
too. Hit the like, hit the +1, hit the favorite, whatever floats your boat.
Or hit the
Press
road.
all the buttons. Yeah.
And don't forget about our Saturday show Issues, which is sporadic, but we try and get it up ahead of time to let you know if we're doing it. And other than that, we will see you next week. Aaron will be back, and I will be back home. Yay. So
Yay.
everybody have a good night.
Night.
Have a good night, everybody.